Brown adipose tissue in humans is a very interesting topic. Of course, it's a very hot topic right now, and because this tissue is really particular in a sense that it's the only tissue that is really able to generate heat and burn literally calories from fat to eat. So it's an organ that the function is to combat cold exposure and it generate heat. But of course, because of this capacity to burn energy excess, it might be exploited to reduce caloric balance and eventually counter the cardiometabolic risk. And we have evidence, of course, we and others have shown that people with type 2 diabetes, obese individuals, of course, have less spontaneously active brown fat than healthy individuals. Now, we know now from our investigations in humans that this is the dysfunction of adipose tissue, especially in type 2 diabetes, is more complex than we expected. For example, some dimension, metabolic dimension of this tissue are abnormal. So like glucose utilization is quite abnormal and quite blunted in the brown adipose tissue of obese and type 2 diabetic individuals. But its oxidative capacity per volume of brown adipose tissue might not be impaired. So it's quite complex, and the problem right now is that people look at brown fat mainly through glucose metabolism in most places, and we're quite certain at the moment that glucose only give you part of the metabolic activity of the adipose tissue, and we need to look at other dimensions that are poorly investigated at the moment and need more investigations. But certainly the brown adipose tissue plays some role in caloric expenditure in humans. That has been shown, but to what extent that can be exploited clinically is still an issue, and it's still a debate, and we're not certain right now whether it can be exploited properly to counter obesity and type 2 diabetes. My opinion on that is that it might be at best an ancillary target that will help skew somewhat the caloric balance to help combat these disease, but I would not expect necessarily to have a miracle from the activation of this tissue, but certainly there is some potential, non-exploited potential for activation of brown fat. But we have to be balanced in our opinion and look at data for what it is. It's certainly very, very interesting in terms of pathophysiological relevance, because why brown fat is abnormal in type 2 diabetes is still unresolved, and there's a lot of bang for the buck for that type of research, because it probably unravel several pathophysiologic roots of the disease. So, for example, the link between the dysfunctional white fat and brown fat is very interesting to look at, and we're looking at it right now. And I think that's where the money is in terms of eventual intervention to normalize this brown fat activity.